Good evening. I call to order this regular joint meeting of the Minnehaha County and Sioux Falls Planning Commissions, and I will begin with a few introductory comments. My name is Bonnie Duffy. I'm the chair for the County Planning Commission, and Janet Kiddems is here for the Sioux Falls Planning Commission as chair. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. Please note that tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be rebroadcast via CityLink and posted on the www.minnehahacounty.org site for viewing by the general public. The two planning commissions work together on land use and zoning matters within the rural areas surrounding the city. This area is displayed on the screen. When this joint hearing is completed, the joint Sioux Falls and County Planning Commission will adjourn, and the next regular business will begin to consider items beyond the joint zoning jurisdiction with Sioux Falls. Any action taken on the final development plan will be final. First on the agenda is public input. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? At this time, the Planning Commission will consider the minutes from the July 25th, 2022 meeting. Does any Planning Commission member wish to have an item removed for discussion? I will consider a motion for the approval of the minutes for the consent agenda on the county side.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the July 25th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes on the county side.
Hello, on the city side, do we have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 25th meeting?
So moved.
Second. All right, all those in support? You say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the regular agenda. We have item number 2. It's a final development plan, 2201. Petitioner is Tyler Childress. He's also the landowner. This is located approximately 1 mile north of Sioux Falls. Scott?
Good evening, Scott Anderson, Planning Director, and tonight I'll be providing you some information on the final development plan for the Laurel Ridge Plan Development. As you recall, this was rezoned approximately 8 months or a year ago, and the applicant is now bringing forth a final development plan. With approval of the final development plan, this would allow for eventual construction of a structure. And Section 1404 of our joint zoning ordinance contains a list of items and information that must be submitted and included for review with a final development plan. And those are listed in your staff report in bold. And generally, I'll go through those. The applicant is proposing a structure that will be approximately, if you look at it, the proposed structure will have a mean height, a roof height of 30 feet 6 inches, and the height of the steeple would be 64 feet. And the applicant's also indicated that he would like a decorative element on top of the building, such as a cross or some other decorative item, which would take the total height to 70 feet. One thing I did notice is that our county zoning ordinance exempts church steeples and water towers and communication towers, but no such provision exists in our joint zoning ordinance. So I wanted to make sure this is spelled out, that the height of that building will be approximately, not to exceed 70 feet. The applicant has amended his site plan, so it is all on, the building is now all within Tract B or Lot B of Tract 1. The setbacks are 30 feet on the front, 20 feet in the rear, and 10 feet on the sides. The building permit, once he applies for that building permit, we would verify that those setbacks would be met. The floor area of the building is to be approximately 6,655 square feet. The building is 55 by 90, and then there's a 30 by 55 foot loft area above the building, above the main part of the building, like a loft area. And the plans indicate that the maximum occupancy would be 225 people. The applicant has submitted to meet the requirements of number 3, the off-street parking plan. The site plan shows approximately or indicates 90 spaces, or excuse me, 80 spaces, and there'll be overflow. The applicant meets the setback requirements for that use. It should be noted that, as we're all aware, Slip Up Creek Road is in the process of being reconstructed and hard surfaced. And the driveway into the planned development and the parking lot would need to be paved to meet the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and that is indicated in the conditions. The driveway, the approach has been widened to 26 feet wide. Number 4, we look at the sidewalks, bikeways, or other paths. This typically applies to more like residential plan developments, and in this case, it's really a standalone lot, but there are some sidewalks that lead from the parking lot into the building. The applicant has met number 5, which is a landscape plan that shows some general landscaping to be added around the building. If you look at the site plan, you'll notice a nice row of evergreens along the north and the west, partial along the north and west property boundaries. Those will stay and act as a buffer for that building. The applicant has submitted a detailed topographic map showing the contours and the utilities on the property, which meets number 6. And he's also provided a final grading plan, which meets number 7. There will not be much grading. You'll see Slip Up Creek off to the east, and the lot naturally flows to the southeast, and the applicant will utilize the natural drainage into Slip Up Creek. The uses, 8 is to show us or to talk about the existing and proposed uses adjacent to the area. So, as we know, the newly constructed Veterans Cemetery is approximately 1/8 of a mile to the north. The applicant has an existing wedding facility, events hall to the south, and then the areas to the east are primarily, and west are primarily agricultural in nature. There are no sub-areas for on this lot for anything other than commercial use, which would be the proposed events facility, wedding barn, chapel. And then we look at number 11, talks about the parking and loading spaces. He has met the requirement of the 80 spaces as indicated and has shown a loading area within on the building. And then we look at number 12, which is, are there any other uses or specified on the development, final development plan? And in this case, those standards have been met. Generally, the height and the setback requirements for the C commercial district are being used as stated within the Laurel Ridge Planned Development District. One of the major things that came up with the review of this is the access on the Slip Up Creek Road. And I had a lot of discussion with a lot of parties on this, including the Mapleton Township supervisors, the city of Sioux Falls, the county highway superintendent, and the state, because there's a lot of players involved with this. And the applicant has obtained an approved approach permit from the Mapleton Township, and it appears that he has been working with the engineers designing the road with the reconstruction of the Veterans Cemetery, and has paid for some additional drainage work to be done. And you can, maybe the applicant will further explain that, because he's been much more hand in hand working with the reconstruction of that road. But it appears that it has all been worked out. This is a use that has been approved with the rezoning, and staff finds that the final development plan meets the requirements of the zoning district, of the zoning ordinance, and that the requirements for the Laurel Ridge Plan Development District has been met. Staff's recommending approval with 7 conditions, and I would be glad to answer any questions you have. This is, if I can move this, there we go. Generally, this is what the building will look like, and this is the site. You can see the pine trees and that fence. This is looking on the property, looking south towards the existing wedding barn. You can see the property is quite a bit higher than the surrounding property, and it is, you know, it has a nice view of the existing wedding barn. Just, if you can't tell, the existing facility that you're looking at, that parking lot is paved, as well as the driveway that leads into it. So just wanted to note that he has already paved the other facility, the parking in the other facility. This was reconstruction of part of the road, and it is looking at that approach that is on the property. You can see they've done some work, and you can, off to the north, you can see the Veterans Cemetery, and then this, once again, is looking back down that row of trees. I'll move it back to the site plan, and then I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have.
Scott, I have one.
Yeah.
Is that building proposal the same as what we have in our packet?
I didn't hear, pardon, what?
Is the building that, you know, the proposal of what the building will be, is it the same thing as what we have in our packet?
It's
Or is it
generally the
similar?
same.
Okay.
There was probably a little bit of tweaking when this went out to what he finally submitted, but generally it'll be a building that's going to look very similar to this. The size will be the same. Architecturally, it might be just a little bit different.
And he's aware of the steeple, the constrictions about,
The height,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
We discussed that, and that, there is a condition on there that it would be up to 70 feet tall. That's condition number 7. It can't exceed 70 feet.
Any other questions? Jeff?
Scott, will this be in any way interfere with Aerostata's view of the horizon?
It is not within that, the
That area,
Arrows
okay.
height,
Thank you.
overlay district that we have.
Doug?
Scott, just to answer the question, I just want for clarification, is Mapleton Township responsible for the maintenance? For clarification, is Mapleton Township, are they the ones that are responsible for the maintenance of that road?
Well, as of this moment, probably yes, but it's being constructed, and then eventually, it's my understanding that once it's constructed, it will be transferred over to the county highway department, and the county highway will take over maintenance of it.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
I spoke to our highway superintendent about it, and he was okay with this plan.
Madam Chair.
Becky?
Now we would have 2 event centers in close proximity. Who will be providing emergency services in the event of a fire? Would that come out of the city of Sioux Falls? Is it going to be the Renner Volunteer Department?
Renter volunteer, and then I think they are backed up by the city as needed.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
Scott, in your opinion, issue of the approach has been addressed satisfactorily?
Yes.
Any other questions for him? Is the petitioner here? Will you please step forward, state your name and address?
Hello, Tyler Childress, welcome back again. Hopefully it's the last time. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're excited to kind of get moving, get forward. We're hoping to dig ground here about 30 days from now-ish. Some small tweaks have been made just as far as being inside code and doing certain roof heights and certain things that we modified for trash enclosures and such. We personally paid for additional culverts to go inside there as far as the road approach and stuff. So we've made all accommodations for that. we're excited to move forward. Any questions?
Guess not. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else in the audience care to speak to this item?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve this conditional use.
I'll second. That with the conditions.
Yes, that would be with all conditions, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the final development plan, 22-01 on the county side. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes on the county side.
All right, on the city side, do I have a motion?
Madam, I'll make a motion to approve with the 7 conditions.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion?
No, I just want to say that I know this has been a long process for you. We appreciate you coming back and working with us. I know it's been like 3, 4 times, 5 times, and we appreciate that. So, thank you.
We're going to give him his own chair.
All right, any further discussion at all on the city side? All right, we have a motion on the table to approve with the 7 conditions. All those in favor, please respond by saying yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries on the city side.
Thank you. Any old business? Any new business?
Motion to adjourn on the county side.
Second.
Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn on the county side. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes on the county side.
All right, on the city side.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes. Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We have a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.